a fight with oneself, but never embracing that. Sometimes in life you have to forgive yourself. What's going on, guys? This is Q the Boss, also known as Quentin Brown. And today we have the first women's mental health event sponsored by the Power Dynasty, backed by T Medical. Today's going to be an amazing event. A lot of women are going to definitely engage, and we're going to bring some very professional people up. We're going to talk about mental health and the importance of mental health. A lot of people don't understand how important mental health is. So therefore, in order to achieve any levels of success, the exposure will lead to the expansion. And if the mind is exposed, the mind will expand. So therefore, most people never forgive themselves because they constantly reminding themselves of what they used to do and not seeing what they're doing now. Is embracing challenges with change. You can't keep talking about the fact that you failed so many times. But failure is a part of success. When you learn that when you fail up. Sometimes you keep thinking you're falling down, but in reality you're failing up. Embrace the failure and forgive yourself. I failed, but I learned. I hurt, but I healed. I fell down, but I grew. Watching people laugh at me, but realizing that he who laughs last always laughs the best. They laughed at me, but I had to realize that I had to believe in me. Stop looking for acceptance from the others when I realized that I wasn't accepting myself because I kept looking for acceptance. I had to forgive myself. Hopefully looking for someone to embrace me when I didn't even embrace myself. I wanted them to love me, but I didn't even love me. When you don't love yourself, you look for love from others, but you gotta learn to love you. Forgive you. And grow from the fact that everything you've been through is a part of your story. The chapters in your book is not the ending. When you realize that the last day is the day you go, and as long as you got breath, it's time to change. You gotta forgive you. Anyone that's okay, please give a round of applause to my grandmother. So guys, today is just another, I get emotional anytime I get into this mode because of the fact that I realize that God is working miraculously through me. He's allowing me to lead a lot of people because I genuinely believe it's not about what he's doing for me, it's what I'm doing for others. Amen. I believe that I don't pray for myself anymore. I actually pray for others, and I want them to feel obligated to pray for me by doing right by others. So I don't pray for myself anymore. I try my best to work hard on others so they feel obligated to pray for me. I think that's the ultimate gift that you can ever give to anyone else besides praying for yourself. Everyone wants things for themselves, right? But today we're going to enjoy this event. We got some very, very, very phenomenal speakers. You know, people that inspire me, ladies, that inspire me, right? I'm a very inspirational guy. I like to be inspired. Sometimes I go on people's platforms and I just want to see what they're talking about today. It actually keeps me focused. So without that being said, Sharika McDonald, could you please come up?
Me being able to tell my story and also me being able to coach other people is therapeutic for me, and it helps me to heal. A lot of times when I'm doing these engagements, I feel like I'm talking to myself. So I hope that you guys resonate with all of the speakers. Thank you guys so much for coming out, all the speakers, and putting yourselves in a vulnerable space to be able to open up the door for healing for other people. And also just to let everyone know that they're not alone in this journey of healing. You guys are surrounded by love, good energy, and support. So if you will, I'd like to set an intention for today. The most important relationship that you guys are gonna have in your whole lives is the relationship that you have to yourself. We are very, very, very driven to please others. We're very driven on not disappointing people, and we're very driven on not being seen in a certain way. We give a lot of loyalty, a lot of respect, and a lot of support to others, but we have a challenge when it comes to doing that for ourselves. So my mission and my journey with my coaching platform is to give people a space, a safe space of healing to be able to rebuild a relationship that they either didn't have for themselves or that they never learned how to create for themselves. So speak kindly to yourselves, be open, Don't be embarrassed by things. Journeys have lots of experiences, and with that comes wisdom, and we have to go through things in order for that to happen. So if you are around like-minded people, they will support you with that, with whatever you have going on. And if you are not around those people, then you may need to find some more people to be around. So be open. Our intention for today will be to just listen to everything that speakers are saying and just think about how it relates to you in your life and things that you can take away with this that will help you during your journey day to day.
This woman, I like to look at her content. I'm not fashionable, but she makes me want to become more fashionable. All right, I'm a very about a good book guy. If anyone knows, I love black. All right, today I'm wearing blue because I wanted to step out of my comfort. All right? But this particular woman, she inspires me to want to try new things. I love her strength. I love how she is as a mother. I admire you a lot. Ms. Jefferson, Tony Jefferson, I admire you so much. And I just want you to know I'm giving you flowers. I've been watching you on social media for a while. And one thing I love about social media, it gives you a lens, right, to see things you like and things you want to apply to your life by learning from others. And definitely, I'm going to step my fashion game up for you. Right? Tony Jefferson, please come up.
I spent 20 years at a luxury store being a personal shopper. I spent that time dressing women who are some of the top judges, women who ran CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and I also dressed many moms who were stay-at-home moms, but they all had something in common. They all had areas of insecurity. Women were coming in, and I know these judges, they had to send drug dealers, mobsters to jail, and they had that strength, but they didn't have that strength in their lives. And what I did was, and what I learned, and I didn't realize it until, actually when I stepped down from that job, is that was my ministry in that fitting room. In the beginning, I was helping to dress up that ugly, but when I really made them dig deep into themselves to say, okay, I'm putting on this beautiful face, I'm putting on this beautiful outfit, but what am I on the inside? Am I beautiful on the inside or am I ugly? Am I just covering up ugliness? And I think as women, we know what to do to look pretty, right? We get our hair done. When our hair is done, we walk different, right? We put a little lipstick on, we think we're cuter than we was yesterday. So those things we know how to do, but do we know how to dig down inside of ourselves and look at those ugly parts, not just cover them up, right? How do we dig down into ourselves and searching our hearts? And sometimes we pile up so much makeup, we pile up all beautiful clothes, we adorn ourselves with gorgeous jewelry, but we're so ugly inside. Mm-hmm. So I had to face that with myself. I went through times, and it's so funny. People would say, especially on Instagram, people show you what they want you to see. They don't show you the stuff behind them. And it was a space in my life where I was posting, I'm on yachts, I'm with the who's who of who, and everyone's, oh, I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy. They didn't know I was struggling with depression. They didn't know that I was struggling within myself. Or they knew that they saw me on a yacht and they thought that was life. It really wasn't. So when I took the time to dig within myself, to pull away those layers of makeup, to look inside and find my ugly and talk to her, that ugly person that I try to hide from people, I don't want people to see, I pull her right out and said, let's talk. What is going on here? How did we get here? Why do I feel this way? And when I started to peel back that onion for myself, that's when the true leaves truly blossomed. That's when I felt good no matter what. I look crazy. It was funny. I'm driving down the road. He's like, did I just see you? I'm like, baby, I was going crazy. But I still felt cute. My hair was blowing away. Oh, well, right? I'm running from the gym. People got pictures. I'm like, hey, thank you. Yes, it's me. I still feel cute no matter what. So I just want to encourage you, ladies and gents, just people with good hearts, is to dig within yourself, love who you are on the inside, let that shine. Because a lot of people walk around with false confidence. And when you build false confidence on false things, materialistic things, when those things crumble, you crumble. Let them see less of me and more of you. Because when I stand on a rock, there's nothing nobody can say to me. And when you have faith in something, whatever it is, but mine is God, you have core beliefs, you believe in something, it gives you a strength and a confidence that nobody can take away with it from you. No matter what you have on, you feel confident. You're not gonna hold your head down. You stand up because you know, I know who I belong to. So I stand differently. I'm not worried about it because people could talk, but what they talk, they don't create nothing. My father, when he talks, he creates. So when I move according to who I belong to. So.
Another person that's here today, a speaker, she motivated me to actually do this event. We spoke every day about my story, about what I want to do. She gave me her ear when I wanted to write my book, when I told her I want to open up a club, I told her I want to do this, I want to do that. Everything that, she always says to me, everything you say you're going to do, you actually do it. And sitting with her every day, every morning I get to enjoy her. She's like my mentor, and I enjoy her every single morning at a shake store that we go to every day. And I steal her ear, and she's never too busy for me. Like, always gives me her ear. So guys, understanding that when you have people that allow you to be vulnerable with them, when you're trying to figure out yourself, right? Who you are, where you're trying to go with your life, that is the most, I think it's the most, one of the best things that we could actually do. And this lady, she means so much to me. They say big things come in small packages, right? But she's definitely a big package, and I just want you guys to give a round of applause for Karen Bigby, guys.
Isn't it a great day for us to get our mental health in order? Absolutely. Thank you, Quentin Brown, aka Q the Boss, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for taking this assignment. What I'm going to do is do a little bit of a spoken word, and then I'm going to go right into what I'm going to speak about because, like he said, I'm small in package, but they call me the quiet storm. All right, let's go ahead. I am a queen. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am a winner. I am the prize. I am important. I matter to someone. I am a survivor. Breast cancer didn't defeat me. I am powerful, like thunder rolling in the sky. I am love. I give my heart to you. I am a trailblazer, making strides wherever I go. I am sweet as brown sugar. My kindness always shines through. I am happy, so I always keep a smile on my face. I am feminine, yet I am strong. I am a caregiver. Everyone needs me. I am a trendsetter. Miss Fashionista is what they call me. I am a supporter. I am honest and trustworthy. I am my biggest competitor. I am going to be positive no matter what. I will help motivate others. I am my sister's keeper. I am human. I am unique. I am a friend. I am a sister. I am a mother. I am not my bad decisions. I am not negative. I am not angry. I am not jealous. I am not bitter. I am not mean. I am not argumentative. I am not worthless. I am not a failure. I am not in competition with other women. I am not my excuses. I am not what my abusers did to me. I am not the molestation or the rape. I am not my addiction. I will recover all. I am not my abandonment when my mother left me. I am not my rejection when my father turned his back on me. I am not an adulterer or the side piece. I am not just my body. I am not the sickness inside of me. I am not perfect, but perfectly flawed. I am not the miscarriage or termination of pregnancy. I am not my heartbreak. I am not the divorce. I am not a bad mother, sister, aunt, or grandmother. I am not a product of my environment. I am not my childhood traumas. I am healed, no longer broken. I am not going to give up. I am going to achieve all my goals. I am woman, hear me roar. I am a woman, and I am who God says I am, and I will be great because I am a queen. I am enough. I am enough.
And I can do all things
I can do all things
through God our Father,
through God our Father,
who strengthens me.
who strengthens me.
Ladies, God made us all in His image to be great, not for us to be or feel like failures or feel sorry for ourselves, but to live like kings and queens.
So a little bit about myself. I was raised in a Christian home. My dad was a pastor, he still is. My mom was a missionary. So we didn't talk a lot about mental health. The only thing I really heard about mental health was when we went to church and say that there was someone in the audience who was struggling with mental health, and they came up for prayer. We would have prayer services where they would be casting out demons. So that's really the only thing that I really knew about mental health at the time. And what I realized is that, I mean, looking back at it now, the people will come back to the church months later or a year later with the same issue, and sometimes it will be even worse. Because although I do believe in healing, I do believe in the power of prayer, but I feel like they weren't really helping the person heal by giving them the proper coping mechanisms to help them deal with whatever they were going through. And although my family did not talk much about mental health concerns, issues, or anything like that, I witnessed my mom going through severe anxiety. I witnessed her, worried all the time, her hair falling out. I remember her going into the bathroom, and sometimes things would come up and out of, you know what I mean? I also witnessed my dad. He struggled with severe anxiety, and he would have these terrible panic attacks. Now, they wouldn't call it anxiety or panic attacks or anything like that, but he had an issue with being around crowds or being in crowds. Even though he was a pastor, his safe place was in the pulpit. And he also did not like going to restaurants or anything like that because he had this issue. And I remember one day him going into the store and then coming out of the store. I'm like, what are you doing? But he was having a severe anxiety, or I should say, a severe panic attack. So he was going to the store, heavy breathing, heart racing, so he wasn't able to stay in the store, so he kind of fought through it, and he was able to then go in and out of the store. And so in my own life, I also struggled with my own mental health issues. I also dealt with anxiety and severe panic attacks, and I honestly didn't realize that's what it was. I ran track from high school and in college, and I had experiences of what we call asthma attacks, but they were not asthma attacks. As I know it now, they were not asthma attacks. They were panic attacks. Because they wouldn't happen, honestly, they wouldn't happen all the time. My parents took me to the doctors, I got inhalers. Of course, the inhaler wasn't working because I didn't have asthma. I was going through a panic attack. So, moving forward years later, still struggle with anxiety attacks or panic attacks, excuse me. Not really knowing what it was, even though I had some of the mental health education, I still didn't recognize that's what it was. And I said, surely me, I have anxiety, and this is not a panic attack. But it would happen after I would experience an extremely stressful situation. So I would be stressed out for a matter of like months. And then after my body went back to level and I felt okay, that's when it would hit me. So again, I would have these episodes that looked like asthma attacks. I also had an episode where I felt like I was having a stroke. The whole right side of my body went limp. My speech was slurred and everything, face drooping. Once I called the ambulance, was rushed to the hospital, and they were like, just nothing's wrong with you. I was going through a period in my life where I hated where I lived. I didn't like I'm not gonna say I didn't like my job, but I struggled in that area. I was going to work, motivating other people, but really struggling inside. I was going through a terrible, well, in a terrible marriage. I'm still married, but at that time, it was terrible. And also the person that was living with us, it just wasn't a good environment. And so I would also have these things where I thought I was actually having a heart attack. And so I went to the hospital again. They're like, there's nothing wrong with you. So I finally went to my doctor. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I keep going to the hospital. They're telling me I'm fine. And then he asked me the questions, are you an anxious person? You know, asked me all those questions that doctors ask that more so now than they used to. And so moving further along, I also struggled with severe depression. And I didn't recognize that it was depression because it looked very differently. Because I've been in the mental health field for over 20 years. And so with working with clients who had or experienced depression, it didn't look like what I was experiencing. So I had a lot of anger. I didn't have a lot of sadness, but I was going. I was in school, I was, taking care of my children, wife, going to work, all the things, but I just had this pain inside. A lot of sadness again, rageful, angry to everybody, but again, not realizing that I was going through depression until one day I was riding in the car with my girls in the back. I had an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old, but they were really young at the time. Traveling from Fitchwood, and I was going through this emotional turmoil where I was feeling anger, sadness. So as I'm driving, I just, putting my foot on the gas, I began to go faster and faster until I was speeding down the road. And something in me told me to just turn and hit the pole. And so as I was about to do it, now I'm not thinking, I'm not even really there. And I even forgot that my kids were in the car with me. So driving, speeding down the road, about to go ahead and hit that pole so I could kill myself. And then I heard my kids in the background laughing and playing. And so that's when I snapped out of it. And this is actually the first time I'm telling the story.
Thank you.
So going through that, and then as I let my foot off the gas to continue, I just boo-hoo crying. I turned the music up really loud because I didn't want the kids to hear me. And so I was really suffering in silence. Nobody knew what I was going through. Nobody at work. My husband didn't even know that I was suicidal. I didn't even know I was suicidal at that time. My family, nobody knew, and I really felt, at that point in time, I really felt alone. But that's when I knew that, okay, I needed to get help, and that's when I really started my healing journey.
Leaving a lasting, positive impression on others. Karina has left a major impact on me. She actually got me more focused in real estate. She doesn't even know that. This is why I told you I need you here today. Guys, give it up for Karina.
Hello everyone, my name is Karina Tom. Hi! For those of you that don't know me, I've been in the real estate industry for about 30 years now. That bio's a little dated. but I started as a very young girl in my industry. I'm a daughter of immigrant parents to this country, they just wanted to give their daughter the American dream and work really hard. I'm half Salvadorian and half Guatemalan. And, so just that work ethic was instilled in me at a very young age, and I always wanted to make my mother proud. And I also had a son very, very young. I basically fell into the title insurance world at the age of 18. I like to call it God's divine intervention into my life. My sister and my brother, in the medical world. My brother's an anesthesiologist, my sister's a nurse practitioner. And then for me, I really was like, I'm not going into the medical field. And my mom's a registered nurse also. So, you know, when I was presented with the opportunity to work for a title insurance company, entry-level position, I was very excited at the age of 18. And then fast forward at the age of 20, I have my son, and I want to say that that was like the driving force for me at that point, was just to live my life and to give him everything that I could give him as a parent. And I worked really hard. By the age of 21, I decided that I was going to be part of business development for the title insurance company that I was working at, basically because I used to see this beautiful woman walk into the office every single day, and she came in around 12 in the afternoon, and I'm like, Laura, what do you do? Because I have to be here at 9 a.m. every morning, and she just was so beautiful. And she's like, darling, I sell title insurance. And I said, you know what, I want to do that too. And she's like, well, you have what it takes. And so I marched right into the owner's office, and I said, you know, I would love an opportunity to be part of your business development team. And he said, absolutely not, you're too much of an asset in the office. And so I went ahead and gave him my 2 weeks notice, and I took the chance. I called a recruiter and I said, you know what, I would love to be part of business development. And I was very young, so I worked really, really hard, and you know, facing all the struggles that my industry, in the real estate industry back in the day, and now us women, we've come a long way. We've overcome so many things, you know, to be recognized in the business world. But at the time when I was this young girl, I had, you know, the fact that I was so young, and then also it was a male-dominated industry, so I would, you know, the majority of people that I would contact within my industry were attorneys. I would contact them, you know, telling them to use my title insurance company, and I got a lot of doors thrown in my face. But I was relentless. I just said, you know what, no matter what, I'm not going to give up, because I had my purpose, I had my goal, which was my son, and just, you know, raising him and giving him everything that I could give him. And so I was just really driven. And, you know, by the age of 25, I, at that point, accounted for about 70% of the business for the title insurance company that I worked at. And that was just, you know, in a company where you're not really recognized as a woman because it's a boys club, I decided that I was going to prove myself and in numbers, and I wasn't going to demand the attention. I was just going to produce, and you know what, my production would speak volumes, and that's what I did. And so today is really about mental health. Q reached out to me, and he's like, I would like for you to share something that I never thought in a million years God was preparing me for. You know, I'm a very big believer in God. I raised my son to be a believer, and they gave him everything he ever wanted, and he became everything I ever wanted him to be. I wanted him to be kind, I wanted him to be generous, I wanted him to have faith in God. And he soared, he did all those things. We achieved things that I always knew I had a calling for, which was through my title insurance business to also have a calling to do missions work. And he went and he did missions work with me in Guatemala. I have a missions in Guatemala. I've been doing it for about a decade now. A portion of all of the money that I make, I generously donate it to Guatemala and a church over there, and I've been working with them to just, you know, give to the people and speak the word of God. And Mikey came with me and he said, Mommy, I never felt the presence of God more here than anywhere else. And he just became everything I wanted him to be, right? So now he's getting his bachelor's, it's his final semester, and he's working. He used to go to Chaminade in, you know, this private school in Mineola, and you know, the kids there would like drive in with like 7 Series BMWs and and all these fancy cars, and I would say, Mikey, you know what? You deserve it. You work really hard. You have amazing grades. And he would say, no, Mommy, one day I'm going to buy it for myself. I don't need you to buy that for me. I'd rather earn it myself. So I said, all right, you just born this amazing kid with these great values, and then he went to work for Bayside BMW, and he got up to a managerial position, and one day he's like, Mom, I bought myself my first X5, and he was 22 years old, and I was just so proud of him. And, you know, my husband and I were just, you know, beyond proud. But at times he would say, Mom, he's like, you know, I feel like by my age, like I look at you and you had all this success already. And I said, Mikey, you know, you have success in a different way. You have this internal success, right? You know what's right from wrong. You've learned these amazing lessons that people at your age, they don't learn them so quickly. And I honestly wish I could go in reverse too, because I feel like I knew people that or I made a lot of money, but a lot of the lessons that he even knew, he was just so beyond his years. So in July of 2020, my husband and I went to the Hamptons for the night, and then we came home and we found Mikey, and he passed. So living out my purpose, and a lot of times people in my industry, or everyone that knows me, knows how much I loved him. But I will say this, that it's only because of the strength of God and the foundation that I have in the faith that I'm still standing here. But I never thought that I would be able to stand in front of people and have people come up to me and tell me, you're such an inspiration, Karina. I suffer from depression. People tell me all the time, but the way that you're still alive, the way that you still shine, and you still push forward, and if you could get up and you could get dressed in the morning, I know that I can do it too, because what you face is way worse. And honestly, if God uses me as a vessel at this point, then I know that I still have a purpose in this world. You know, that was the most precious thing to me. And Mikey, he shines down on me and he tells me, Mommy, keep going. I still want you to be that light. I still want you to go out there and uplift others like you always have done. And I guess we're talking about mental health, and if you were to ask me, well, how do you continue after something like that? After you have this child that, and even if he would have been troublesome, but he really wasn't. He just was so good. And to have something so good taken away from you, and then you still have to get up in the morning the next day and keep going and keep going. It's only by the strength of God, but at the same time too, I align myself a lot every day, just like the lady right before me said, you know, every day I wake up and I pray, you know, and I'm grateful that I get to see another day, and I intentionally say, I'm gonna have a good day today. I'm gonna have a good day, even though I don't feel good. Even though at times I couldn't get out of that bed, I said, you're gonna get up and you're gonna have a good day. And I set my day up like that. And as the days go on, now it's almost 4 years, I got better. The pain is always gonna be there. Mikey's always gonna be present with me in every single thought. But if I live my life with intention every day, and it gives you a purpose to uplift others, but to uplift myself and to take care of my family. And I said to myself the whole time I built this business, and I got to levels that, you know, my brother that's the anesthesiologist and my sister are like, oh my God, you were the one that was failing out of school. Like, how did you become more successful? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it was God's purpose for my life. And the more I made, the more I wanted to give. And that's one thing that I've always said, like, if he gave me this blessing, it's for a reason. But my purpose was always Mikey. And I was driving down the road one day and I said, well, now it's my purpose. It was all for his legacy, right? All the houses that I built and the business that I have, I always used to tell Mikey, like, this is all yours, you know? Like, I'm gonna show you how to, like, take care of a house, because this is all gonna be yours. And that wasn't the case. And so I realized when I was driving one day and God spoke to me and he said, oh no, you have it all wrong. You're gonna live out his legacy. That was the purpose. And God is a mysterious God. We do not even understand. We don't even understand. Our brains could not even comprehend who he is or his why. You know? But if he didn't take me out, and look, I was a young girl when I was a young 20-year-old girl. I was going to the city, having fun. All those drives back from the city and nightclubs. Nothing happened. Why? Because God has a purpose for each and every single one of us. And we are not here to ask him why. We have to every day say, God, what do you want for my life? What is your purpose for me in this world? Do with me as you have intended. And if I can still stand here and if anybody's dealing with sadness, let me tell you something. You can do it too. You can lift yourself up. And even if you don't really have faith, you can have faith as small as a mustard seed. Even if you don't even understand who God is.
Get to experience that yourself and help you on this. Dr. Lena Clark, CEO of T Medical Group Incorporated, is a visionary force in the medical health realm for over 2 decades. Helms Miracle Mind Global LLC. Her mission to guide individuals in transforming their perspectives and unlocking their full potential, both personally and professionally. Through her dynamic coaching programs, she ignites transformative journeys, fuels vibrant communities, and generously shares knowledge for lasting impact. Marked by personal experience with a devastating loss, Dr. Clark champions open dialogue and dismantles the stigma around mental health issues. She envisions a world where thriving mental well-being is not a distant dream, but a tangible reality. Please help me welcome Dr. Lena Clark to the stage. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day.
Absolutely.
My name is Dr. Lena Clark, and I am the CEO of T Medical Group. And I want to share some information with you all, but first I want to thank you for inviting me to be a part of such a wonderful event. Mental health is something that's really needed, and we need to talk about it. I always tell people that everything starts with the mind. And so what we do also is that we include the psychoeducation part along with the medical. And so T Medical is really an answer to my prayers. So I'm going to share with you my journey, how it started, and how I was motivated to get into mental health. So in 2008, I lost my husband to suicide. And so my children over here were just 5 and 6. Now they're young adults, they're 21 and 22. And so I try to take them with me whenever I can and whenever they're available, because they need to know, we need to talk about it and not sweep it under the rug. Intergenerational trauma exists in most households, but we don't talk about it. And so we didn't talk about it even in my family, even in my husband's family. I found out after he died, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. But he never talked about it. He hid it very well. And like he was saying, he had the men's confidence because men don't talk. So we want to have platforms like this so we can let people know that it's okay not to be okay. And so along the journey, again, to have platforms, we started Miracle Mind Global, which is to educate individuals. And as you'll see, this is information about me, but there's more information along the way that I want you all to see, and you can get the information later on as well, because knowing how the mind works is so important. We talk about the physical body when we get sick, right? We go to the hospital, they diagnose it, they give you a diagnosis, prognosis, they can give you pamphlets on what's going on. But when it comes to the mind, what do? They do an assessment. Sometimes they'll tell you, okay, go to this doctor, write a prescription. Do you want the medication? A lot of people can't take the medication.
Many people don't want to be in a state of lockdown. My husband did not want to. He was a very smart man. He had his master's. He was an inventor. But he did not understand why he was feeling that way. So, the next one. The next slide. So I hope you all can see. Now this is just a disclaimer that we have, that this is just information. We're not here to diagnose or anything. This is just to provide information. Psychoeducation is to help support and to help you understand, again, how the mind works. Okay? So I'm going to share with you. And again, a lot of the doctors don't tell you that. Psychiatrists. What is the amygdala? Have any of you ever heard of that? Okay. The amygdala is a part of the brain where a lot of this happens, such as fear, anger, depression. We as women are very emotional. We have the PMS. We have when you have children, you have the postpartum depression. A lot of doctors don't talk about that. Why women feel suicidal after you've had childbirth. Okay? Next one. So this right here is the amygdala. And I tell individuals, if you're spiritual related and you pray over certain parts of their physical body, you can also pray over your brain, right? Okay, so this part here controls the emotions, fear, depression, aggression. Why do you feel certain ways? So when you are feeling a certain way, you can call that out. Just like you can call any other physical body, part of your body. Next one. Okay. So this just explains what the amygdala does. It's a small part of your brain and how it processes. And again, this information will be available if you're interested, all of the contact information, so if you want this to study on your own. Next one. Okay, what is the main role of the amygdala? The amygdala may be best known as the part of the brain that drives the so-called fight or flight. You heard of the fight or flight, right? Okay? Many of us get into that mode when we're fearful, when we're fighting for something, something happens. Okay? Why is it often? While it's often associated with the body, fear and stress responses, it also plays a pivotal role in our memory as well. By the age of 13, 53% of American girls are unhappy with their bodies. This grows to 78% by the time the girls are 17. These are high numbers. So again, we need to educate ourselves, educate each other, let them know, accept and know who you are. A lot of us don't know as women. So when you don't know who you are, a lot of times you try to compete and you want to be like someone else. Yeah, it's because of your low self-esteem. Hospitals. And so this is why we have Team Medical Group. We have resources where you can call, talk to someone. You don't have to go to the hospital and wait. If you have suicidal ideations, most people aren't going to wait. But if you pick up the phone, you get immediate response. Okay, next one. Social cultural imbalances. So that's one of the other issues when it comes to mental health. The pressures that people deal with, and especially women in society, on our workforce on a daily basis. The expectations that we deal with when it comes in the corporate world. What's expected? And so we try to make sure that we meet those expectations. And a lot of times we're overwhelmed and we don't tell anyone. Okay, next one. Variations in healthcare. So this is why, again, we have created the Team Medical Group. Because when it comes to mental health, and being in this field for almost 17 years or more, I've seen revolving doors. I've seen people get tired of waiting. You call the 24-hour hotline, who's gonna wait? You're not gonna wait. You want someone to pick up the phone. So again, this is what the healthcare system, I know how the system, everything is systematic, as you all know. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to break that. Okay? Next one. Substance use disorders in women. Many women self-medicate, substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, anything to remove the pain. But once you come back, the pain is still there. The problem is still there, right? So that's why you need to talk to someone. Deal with it. Find out what's going on. Let's get to the root of it. When you get to the root of something, dig and get it out. That's what we're here to do. Okay? Next one. Substance use disorder in women. What to look for. So these are some of the things that you can look for. Again, feel free to screenshot it, but we will provide the information later. And so this is some of the things that we really emphasize that women need to pay attention to. Don't just sweep it under the rug, especially if you have children. Share this. Educate them. Because you don't want them to go through the same thing that you went through. Or someone you know. Okay? Next one. The mind-body health connection. Mental and physical health share similarities, but are unique in their own right. The link between the mind and the gastrointestinal system. Have y'all ever heard of that? The mind and your gastro is connected? Okay. How psychological issues manifest as physical symptoms, while physical health focuses on longevity. Mental health impacts both the length and quality of your life. Next. Okay, so when to seek professional help? In the midst of life's challenges, pursuing talk therapy with an experienced therapist, make sure that you talk to someone that's licensed, someone that's professional, someone that you feel comfortable with, that's highly beneficial. Signs such as feeling disconnected from others, harboring intense self-criticism, or neglecting self-care, when you feel like you don't want to do anything. You don't wake up in the morning, you don't want to take a shower, you don't want to brush your teeth, you don't want to comb your hair. Those are signs to pay attention to, okay? Indicators, very important, don't ignore those. Professional assistance may be necessary when grappling with feelings of hopelessness, suicidal ideations, addiction, seeking guidance. Next. Okay, so in closing, these are tips for enhancing your mental well-being. Get at least 15 minutes of sunshine per day. Take a walk. Go outside. This will boost, also vitamin D is important, okay? Staying inside, feeling sorry, that's not gonna help. Make sure that you push yourself. This will elevate your mood as well. Next, spend half an hour in nature whenever you can. Go to the park. Also take a short trip, take a drive, exploring what's in your local area, experiencing change of scenery. Sometimes take a trip. Change your environment helps. Yeah. Okay? Unplug from your devices. Turn that phone off. Unplug your computer. Remove it from your bedroom. Okay? Take it off your nightstand and just say, look, I'm not available. Protect your boundaries. You have the right to protect your space. They'll call you back if it's an emergency. So it's so important that we do these things to maintain our sanity. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. Everything starts with the mind. And know that it's okay not to be okay. So in order to heal, you must reveal.
Let's go.
In order to heal, you must talk about it. Okay? So these are some of the things. Make sure you do these things, write them down. You know, put it in your everyday schedule. If not one, you know, just try one a day. It's a process. Just one step at a time. Okay? Next, I don't know if there's anything else, but so anyway, for more information, you can contact Dr. Lena Clark. Here's my email, 365 Telemine. And if you want to scan, here's a barcode. That'll take you directly to it. So again, thank you so much, Q, your team, our team. Also, I want to thank Dominique Bianco for inviting me to, trusting me to be the CEO of something that I've been praying for years. God answers prayers, I want you to know that. And I know that my husband is smiling because he couldn't finish the race. But I'm here to finish it for him. Thank you all.
One of the most amazing things I witnessed my mother do was take on children that did not belong to her and never raise them any different from her two children. No one even knew that they weren't my siblings until they knew they were my siblings. One of the most amazing things, my mother always talked about village. My mother always talked about helping others. My mother always talked giving back. That's how my mother taught. My mother said I don't even think she remembers it. I repeat this line so much, but she said to me years ago, I think I was about 14, she said, I would rather a basement apartment in a nice neighborhood than a mansion in the hood. And I used to look at him like, you got a mansion, why would you want to leave the mansion? But my mother used to talk about the mentality. My mother never showed me anything that warrantly went against her beliefs and her behaviors. I didn't see it. I don't know it. Right? She made sure she kept a child in a child's place. I didn't see anything that wasn't deserving of what I should see. But me and my brothers, we dabbled out on things that she didn't teach us. Right? But it was the greatest thing that I've learned. Because in my darkest moment, I became the greatest version of self. And I'm grateful for the fact that my mother never gave up on me. Never gave up on me. Never. Never. My mother used to tell me who I would be before I believe I could be who I am today. My mother used to say, you have the gift of speaking. My mother used to say, you are a leader. My mother used to talk so much life into me. But I still wanted the negative because I didn't believe it in myself. Everything I've ever done, my mother's here today, everything I've ever done, I've been a captain of. I played varsity football in the 8th grade. 8th grade. That is unheard of. That's middle school for those who don't know. And I was starting running back in 8th grade on varsity. In 8th grade. Right? And everyone I came in contact with, still older than me, being 12th grade, still respected me as the man I am. And I still couldn't see it. I still couldn't see it. I remember times I would sit at the foot of my grandmother's bed. And my grandmother would say things to me also. This is where I'm getting at the point of the power of a woman. The power of a woman. You have a gift like no other, the nurturing gift that y'all was blessed with. Poured into life. When life don't even believe in itself. I didn't believe in myself at all. Today I would have never guessed I'd be here today doing this. Shy. Scared. Let me say that again. When God has a mission for you, there's nothing you can do to stop it. I remember, for those who don't know, I'm a big influencer on social media. I remember throwing up a video about sagging. You know, I just threw up a video. The video went so viral to the point I won so many accolades and awards for this particular video. And I was like, wow, maybe I should just do it more. A lot of people like Karina, I got to meet her from my social media and then ultimately doing business with her, right? What I'm getting at is today, for those who are down, there's no reason to stay. Because I'm gonna tell you something, in order to understand what up feels like, you have to be down, right? We don't fall down, we fell forward. I've learned how to turn my L's into lessons and ultimately turn it into blessings. One of the greatest moments of my life, and I remember this moment, and I want him to hear this. I remember being in family court, and I'm gonna be honest, I just came home from prison. And I told my mother, one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get custody of my son. I said, I'm gonna fight for my son. I remember big old son runs across the room when he see me for the first time. He didn't see me in years, right? In years. My son ran across the room and gave me a big hug. I looked at him, he was in foster care. I said, I'm gonna come get you. I said, don't worry, whatever it takes, I'm gonna get you. Fast forward, I remember we came to family court and they granted you custody. Remember, I had to come pick you up. They granted me full custody, right? And I had to come pick you up. So when you look at certain things that go on in your life, if I had custody of my son early, I don't think I'd be the man for him that I could have been.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Can only show you the idea of what she thinks is a man, but it takes a man to show you what a man is. It takes a man to show you what a man is. I felt many times as a father. I felt many times as a man. I felt many times as anything you can remotely say a man should do or would do. I felt a lot of times. But the one thing I never did was I always got back up. I always got back up. My mother said to me one time, she came to visit me. Remember? Came to visit me. Her tears became my strength. I love you. Love you. Because of you. My mother always talked about forgiveness and learning how to accept people. I remember I used to be very, very, very angry. We struggled a lot growing up. But it's weird when you're struggling and you're in an environment where everyone is struggling, you don't really realize how bad you're struggling. You start normalizing things. We made basketball courts. We cooked on the grill with newspaper. But we didn't know it was wrong. We eat the letters and everything that's in the paper. We don't know it's wrong, right? Burgers taste like Newsday. Right? My mother used to come in, boy, y'all gonna die eating that. I'm like, it tastes good to us, right? But again, you don't know. Because one thing my mom always had was something called pride. And I think that's why I'm such a proud man. She taught me pride. She told me don't give up, don't quit, fight. I told my mom one day, I said, Mom, I'm gonna do something for the family because I realize that I am the one. I am the one. I'm not gonna cry about our circumstance. I'm not gonna cry about what we didn't have. I'm gonna go get us what we deserve. And everything I told I was gonna do, I've done it. Tenfold. And I'm not done yet. Because there's so many more blessings I wanna give you. So many more. So those who have a mother or a father, I have my mother and my grandmother sitting, I have my aunt sitting in here. For the first time in my life, this Thanksgiving, I was able to have my father's side of my family and my mother's side of the family in one room eating dinner together. That means more than any dollar I've ever made in my life. Mom kept making me cry. Kept talking me, you know what I was doing. But I was having a moment. I didn't even know I had my grandmother in the room, everybody in the room. And I was emotional. That's why I started crying. Because of the fact that I was enjoying something as a child I longed for so long. My family together. When you don't know who you are, you create something about yourself that may not even be true. Or you're taught who you are from others that surround you. So an eagle will believe that it's a crow if it stays around crows. And I've always been an eagle. Always been an eagle. There's a story. There was a mother crow. And she was attacked by some eagle. There was a mother eagle. And she was attacked by some crows. Because the crows was always jealous of her. They knew who she was. They knew she was special, she was gifted. But they know the only way they can beat this eagle is by attacking it together. So they attacked the eagle. And the eagle was pregnant and gave birth while they were attacking it. And sure enough, one of the crows decided to take the baby eagle and raise it. When the baby eagle came to the nest of the crows, all the other crows looked at this eagle with envy, with disgust, with animosity. with jealousy, right? So all of a sudden, the mother crow decided one day to go out and go get the children food. And when the mother crow decided to go get the food, that baby crows decided to attack the eagle. One of the crows bit the eagle so hard on his back, the eagle flew for the first time and shot so high in the sky to the point where the baby crow couldn't hold on and it passed out. And by the time the eagle kept going, it kept climbing, it looked down and realized that it wasn't being chased anymore. But when this eagle looked to his left and looked to his right, what do you think it saw? It saw other eagles. And I'm that eagle that realized that I'm an eagle. And I tell everybody in this room, you are an eagle. A lot of people that are special always gets the most animosity, always get attacked, always get people talking bad about you. Because I'm gonna tell you something, it takes much more energy to hate someone than it does to love someone. It takes more muscles in your face to make a nasty face than it does to smile. But we choose to do the negatives, right? Because this is how a lot of us are raised. A lot of us is your representation of how I shake this brother's hand, right? It's how I feel about myself. When I tell my sister I love her, and I just met you today, I love you, and I mean that wholeheartedly, and I pray you love me the same way I love you. Because there's a scripture in the Bible that says, there is no way a man or a woman that says they love God can love God if they can't love their brothers and sisters. And you love someone you haven't even seen before. How do you love someone you haven't even seen, but yet you still can't love your brothers and sisters? And this is a true statement. So I say this with conviction and with such confidence. I love everyone in this room. And I want us to build back what we deserve. And why I say that we deserve this, because we are God's children. The land is ours. The world is ours. But no one can accomplish anything alone. No one. But again, we sit down and we fight each other. A lot of us are envious. Sometimes when you see the blessed, you got to realize that the people that you consider blessed, remember the devil gives also blessings. Yes. Just be mindful that person that's driving that big car that sold their soul. Yes. Be mindful. I'm getting this with pure positive blessings. Yes. I'm doing this and putting God in charge of every one of my steps. Some people don't understand that God can't order steps that you won't make. How is God going to order steps when you're not willing to walk forward? I think it is such a cowardly thing to not go after the best version of self. I'm going to tell you something. Anyone scared, come hold my hand, let's walk together. Because again, as I said earlier, you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a team. Whoever need a team, I'm here. Because we can face anything you're going through together. And I promise you, ain't no more running. Because fear will not defeat us. Not when God is in our corner. There is no such thing as a gatekeeper when God is the gate. Don't let that go over your head.
So I'm actually shaking a little bit right now. I wanted to just share with you guys, and I won't go into my whole story. You can kind of read it if you want to. I did move to Atlanta from New York. I spent my entire life born, raised, from generations of people that were born and raised in New York. I was the first in my family to move away. 5 months pregnant with my son, a one and done, did not have any more children after that by choice. And he is my world. But what I realized was I had a lot of baggage and trauma and things that I watched the norm throughout my life that I had to break. And I didn't have anybody that was able to assist me, support me in that journey because they didn't know either. I've always been a healer and deserve things in return because I was always willing to pay more than my portion. I was always willing to do more than what I needed to do in order to receive back what I thought was love and found out that it wasn't. I was determined to break that curse, and I actually am on that journey right now. I'm a coach, a wellness coach, so I support women, children. My passion has been, over the years, children, actually. I have a teenage son who is he's an athlete, he's a student athlete, which comes along with a lot of pressure. I'm a single mom, So I experience things that I never thought I would. And I have to be strong in order to be able to teach him how to get in touch with his own emotions and how that it's okay for us to go through things. And we have to go through things in order to be able to move to the next level of our lives. So I am a peaceful warrior, emphasis on the warrior. And I am here to coach anybody that needs my assistance to find your peace. So what the focus of my coaching is I actually use affirmations, mantras, yoga, nature, all of these things that I was never introduced to in my life, and that's what brings me balance and peace.
And I think it's the perfect time to even mention it. 365 Telemind is so amazing when you look at the opportunities that it gives to people of color, people of anyone going through anything, right? It's very affordable. And one thing I love about it, there's no copay, right? For $29.99 a month, you have unlimited access 24 hours a day to someone who's a professional therapist. I think God's given her for Dom. God's given her. This company, I've actually became the brand ambassador with, and I got to talk to Dom one-on-one, and Steve also, and we got to be very, very vulnerable. And it was an amazing first, I know Steve already, Steve, but all three of us sitting in a room with my guys were vulnerable, and I saw his mission. It only impacted me more to have someone who actually has a platform and to bring me aboard to allow me to help others. Right? I think it's amazing. For those who don't understand, 365 Telemind will change a lot of lives. A lot of lives. A lot. Because there's things that I can't, or you don't feel comfortable to resonate with someone you may know. So it's that access to someone who is a complete stranger. It's amazing. Right? I'm gonna bring somebody up real fast. Magani. Real fast. Magani, the mutual health advocate. This is my new system. I got somebody pushing the mission with me. You know, it's always, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a team.
I really appreciate you, Q. This was a very beautiful room with, like, I could feel the spirit in here. And also, you know, God is speaking through each person that has walked up to the stage. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. And the importance of sharing a story, you never know who you're gonna touch, right? And I think the underlying message of everyone's speech is God is everything. So I'm gonna share a little bit of my story. My house was a little chaotic. You know, I grew up in a predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhood. I was one of the only Asian households in the community. So you know I got bullied. So I had to try to figure out quickly how to survive. And one of those things is the arts, rapping, you know. So I would take out my little journals and just rap, and that's how I would get the kids to connect with me. And also, you know, my grandmother. Like, if you love your grandmother, clap it up for your grandmother. So, you know, outside of the household, I was getting bullied. Inside of the household, my mom was like, you know, verbally kind of attacking me. So the only safe haven I had was really my grandmother. So when she passed away, I really lost it. I really was just like, I was living, but I wasn't, I really lost touch with, you know, the day-to-day. Like, you know, I'm a creative first, but do give me the courage and guide my steps to fulfill whatever it is that you want me to fulfill. And I was still sort of like lost, going through the motions. After my father passed, I was like making really weird decisions in my life that, you know, one time almost got me in deep trouble, to where, like, if you knew me growing up, you would be like, why is she, like, she's going through something. So then I got injured. I was doing toxic relationships after toxic relationships, not really loving myself. You know, of course, if you dealing with certain people and you didn't grow up like that, you're kind of just like, I was going through the motions again. So having a conversation again, the lockdown hit. I did an interview, actually 2 days prior to the pandemic, because I'm from the entertainment business. It was March. They did a celebrating women in the entertainment business. So I did the interview with Lord Sear, the Lord Sear special on Shade 45. And they loved me so much, and that was one of my dreams, and still is one of my dreams, and I still, you know, get to do it. They loved me so much that they asked me to be a recurring guest host for Lord Sear, and I was like, yeah. And then literally that same week, they announced the pandemic. So I'm gonna fast forward. So going back to that prayer that I was asking God to like just, you know, I don't want to live my days in vanity chasing the wrong things, and you got something else planned for me, because, you know, God forbid my life could be taken away. I want to be able to do something like that's worthy. So there was this app, a social audio app. I got on it, and they was like, yeah, you need to get on it. You need to network. And I'm a hyper networker, so I'm like, not really. And I got on there, and I decided to make use of it. So I started doing roast rooms on it, just letting my anger out, roasting people left and right. And then one day I was like, let me roast people, but with compliments. That day changed my life. That day changed my life.
I'm listening. Ready.
What's going on, guys? So I am Q the Boss, and I'm here with my 365 Telemon family, and I'm telling you something. We have the greatest thing to come since sliced bread. And I'm gonna tell you now, this thing will impact so many lives, change lives, and definitely help people get over a lot of depression and certain things they're going through in life. And I promise you, 365 Telemon will change the world.
Hey guys, I had such an amazing time here at the mental health. Q the Boss provided a safe, light, high energy environment for women to share, to grow, and to just love up on each other. So the next time that you can buy your ticket in advance so you have your seat at the table.
Hello everyone, it's me, Karina Tom, the ultimate title girl on Instagram. But today I got the honor to be here at a Q's Woman Empowerment event for mental health awareness. I just want to say that everyone here really received such an amazing message. We had a great panel of speakers that came out to share different information regarding mental health, the ways that we can overcome them. Lots of resources were given out, and this is what it's all about, coming out on a Sunday and sharing with the community. And honestly, Q, congratulations on setting up such an amazing event. It was a real honor being here today.
Hi, my name is Vigani Tsunami Energy. I was one of the speakers, and big shout out to Q for putting me in last minute. It was a beautiful event. I felt like the spirit was moving in the room. God was moving through the room. He was definitely using people as channels, as vessels to deliver his messages, and I felt like I was in church. So thank you very much to Q and his whole team, you know, the videographer, everybody for showing love. It was a beautiful, beautiful event. I can't wait to the next one.